What's up, guys? It is April 24th. It's your girl, Cresta Star. Normally, I'm here with the beautiful, the illustrious Joe Pearl, but I'm here with the equally as gorgeous, the equally as illustrious, and now slowly becoming my partner in crime, SP3. How are you doing, SP3?
I am doing well. There's only a few people. I will stay up to this now 3 a.m. here to talk some wrestling, and Cresta is on that short list. And Joel Pearl, when he calls, puts the bat signal. The bat signal is a three. It's not the actual bat signal. It's just a three in the air. Whenever anyone from Fightful puts the three in the air, I know it's my call to stay up late till 3 a.m. See, you love the threes to talk some wrestling. So I'm very excited to talk about this episode of TNA Impact for one segment in particular.
And if you guys are excited to talk TNA with us, let us know by leaving a thumbs up on this video if you're watching after the fact, or leave a thumbs up if you're here with us now. If you want to get in on the conversation, the only guaranteed way to get your comment read on air is to send us a super chat, which is somewhere in the YouTube lands. You just give us a little bit of money and we'll read it like puppets. Well, don't be weird. You know what I mean? You can also send us a humper chat over on humperchats.com. We get to keep a little bit more of the proceeds. I'm happy. Sean Rossap is happy. SP3 is happy. Humperchats.com. And I got one more plug before we go into the TNA show. Yes, you can support lost my train of thought. Yes, you can support Fightful if you go ahead and subscribe to Fightful. Whether you're subscribing on YouTube and want to say thank you for almost 160 subs, you can do the Fightful Select over on our Patreon. We've got WWE talent reactions to the Pat McAfee interview, TNA departure post, and a free post with Michael Oku. All of that for $5.99 a month, and that could be yours. Why get it aggregated? Get it for real and not aggravated. Fightful Select. All right, guys, speaking of aggravated, how are we feeling about TNA this evening? What were your overall thoughts before we get into they are like us, they're not like us, the Hardys are invited to the cookout?
I mean, this is like I think my first time in a while that I watched TNA Impact live. I usually watch it when I wake up on Friday morning. Ever since I got my Thursdays back and I'm not watching Ring of Honor live, I watch Ring of Honor and TNA on Friday morning. So this was my first time staying up and watching TNA. I think they had a lot of good stuff that basically set up the TNA Rebellion card. We got a new match made. I really enjoyed a lot of the pre-taped stuff on this show. The cinematic stuff that TNA does, I think they're getting better at it, at telling the stories that they want to tell. And I thought that this show had a bunch of strong ones. It wasn't really like a strong in-ring show, but as far as the vignettes and the video packages that they had, it was really well done. So I enjoyed that.
I totally agree with that. I will say, as far as in-ring performances tonight, it wasn't that strong of a go-home show in that regard. But as far as furthering storylines, there was a lot of video packages, a lot of well-done video packages. But let's start off with TNA at the top. I got my handy dandy TNA notebook because I'm 79 years old and I still take notes by hands. We start off with the excellent tag match between Trey Miguel and Ace Austin versus the System, which consisted of JDC and Moose Tonight, accompanied to the ring by Alicia Edwards. This is a typical System match. A lot of cheating from Alicia. There was a nice double trip on Moose, and his head landed in JDC's yam bag. We always love a little yam bag shuffle. Miguel was sent into the post, but this was after Lish cheated him. Moose follows up by taking Ace's Austin leg out, and then Trey Miguel is sent into the post trying to defend him. We do get the win here when Brian Myers comes out. Alicia Edwards distracts the ref. Brian Myers comes out to hit checking notes because I'm not that girl. I put Myers runs in for a cheat. JDC pins Trey Miguel. Before we get into I'm just going to go into the post match that comes on later on with Trey Miguel and Ace Austin. What did you think of this match in particular, and do you have any high spots that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think this was probably the strongest match on the show. I was very confused for a little bit of this matchup because I was like, why is it Ace and Trey? And then I remembered the last time that I did watch, the system did take out Wentz. So I like the fact that we have two former rivals teaming up here. And I thought that Ace and Trey worked really well with one another. And, you know, for two guys that aren't used to having tag team, they had a lot of good double team moves together. The little kicks to the back and then the double super kick at the same time. That was nice. And I like the finish, even though it is, like you said, a system kind of staple of everyone runs in, a lot of distraction. Alicia,
Time
it
to
was like,
cheat,
do you
baby.
want to know something?
Okay,
Do
not
you
too much
want
on
to
Alicia.
know
This gimmick
something?
is amazing. Not too much on Alicia. Not, do you want to know something? Not too much on Alicia. Not too much. Not too much. Not too much.
I'm, Alicia is my friend. I've interviewed her over on True Hill Heat in the past. I like the stick, but it's one of my favorite catchphrases in TNA. Do you want to know something? So her distracted the referee. Myers coming in with the roster cut on Ace Austin, and Trey taking the loss here. It sets up something, you know, a little bit different for the future, which you're going to talk about shortly here. I just want to say, I do think though, I like these guys working together, all fine and dandy, but I feel like both Trey and Ace Austin should be single stars for TNA. I feel like I've been saying this for the better part of 5 years since both of these guys was in that five-way main event of TNA Slammiversary back in the pandemic in 2020. These guys should be two of the guys that TNA kind of make single stars. Ace Austin kind of had the whole story coming off of Chris Bay's injury at the end of last year that he wanted to win singles gold. And I think that they've kind of reverted away from that for some reason. And I don't think that's the right thing. I think that that was an interesting story to tell, him trying to win the TNA World Championship or trying to win gold without Chris Bay. So I'm hoping that after this is all done with the system, he can get back on track and towards that goal.
No, I totally agree with you in that regard. I think that there is a strong mid card. Well, not a strong mid card, but there's a little bit of a vacuum with people like Josh Alexander being gone, Speedball being gone, Macklin being moved up. For better or for worse, AJ Francis being moved up. There is a place for the mid card to do great things. And with all due respect to the X Division title, it's not necessarily a mid card. I think it's a step above, but it's not quite your world champion. But as long as Moose has it, for better or for worse, it's on par or equal to your world championship because TNA is known for X Division. So I think with what in regards to what you said about Ace Austin and Trey Miguel, there is a way, there's a world, especially now with Steve Macklin being the new international champion. There's a world where these guys can feud over that as long as the Moose has a chokehold on the X Division champion. I mean, if you like, oh, sorry.
No, I was like, I also wanted them to do a little bit more to build up the X Division title matchup for Rebellion for Ultimate X. I know our commentary always does a good job of promoting the different matches, but I would have thought that they would have like given. I mean, they do like video packages and stuff like that, but give a little promo time to one of the guys like a Leon Slater that's in this Ultimate X match because he's probably my favorite going into Rebellion. So I would have liked to see a little bit more promotion of the Ultimate X matchup because that's going to be one of the matches I look forward to the most on Sunday.
Honestly, I haven't seen an Ultimate X match, I feel like, in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's about damn time. We got a lot of high flyers. And speaking about damn time, later on in the show, we do get a backstage segment with Trey Miguel and Ace Austin complaining about their complaining about their loss and saying they're sick of the system. But Ace Austin does acquiesce and say they have the numbers. I've called everyone. You've called everyone. I can't call Bay. You can't call Zet Wentz. What do we do? Trey Miguel says, I just happen to have this number on speed dial. And it is Sean Waltman, Mr. X-Pac himself. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this. Maybe I'm missing a chapter in the TNA because I'm late to the TNA game. Was he ever in TNA or is this just the fruits of the W? Okay, please educate the young. I want to sit under the SP3 learning tree. Hi, guys.
Well, Sean Waltman has been part of TNA in the past several different times. He had his own stint as a single star in like the 2000s, where he made appearances for TNA. He was a part of the band back in 2010 with Nash and Hall in TNA as well. So he has a bunch of connections to TNA, but he's also been somewhat of a mentor, especially to Wentz. Once, if you know, he does like the Bronco Buster and stuff like that. He said several times that that's one of his favorite wrestlers. And on social media, Wentz did his little like vlog, and he had a whole backstage thing at the Prestige wrestling show where the Rascals were wrestling, I think, against Sinner and Saint. That they did a little backstage segment with Sean Waltman where they were like, we want to work together, we want to do some stuff with you. And he said, yo, if you I'm so proud of you guys. If you ever need any help for anything, give me a call. So they kind of set it up on social media more than on TNA Impact. So I like the fact that they paid that off with them having the phone call, because as soon as he said I have this number on speed dial, I was like, is this Sean Waltman? Because I did see that video on social media. So then when he showed the number, I was like, let's go. Let's go. I want to see if Xbox still got it. Still got a little bit left in the tank.
I guess selfishly speaking, I'm like, system, there's a million people. Do we run a DX to beat up on the system? Like just Shawn Michaels out of nowhere? Could you believe on a TNA show? I mean,
Why not?
it's on brand. That TNA on WWE taking L's. I'm sorry, it's on brand at this point. I love
Sean coming in, super kicks everywhere. That would be cool. That would be cool.
But also, would we feel bad for the system?
No, probably
Nah,
not.
not at all. That's why I'm saying this
Probably
could
not.
work. This could work. All the survivor members of DX just come and beat up the system. You're like, damn, why are these legends beating up the system? But also, it's the system. I see no crime, officer.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, they just added Trey and Ace versus the system coming up at this Sunday on Rebellion. So we'll see if Sean Waltman and it's in Los Angeles. So that's close to home for Sean Waltman. It would make sense if he's in their corner. I thought they would do like a 6-man tag because I wanted to see, like I said, I wanted to see if Sean Waltman had a little bit left in the tank, but seems like he'll probably be in their corner for the tag team matchup on Sunday.
I strongly believe that JDC is taking something from X-Pac. That's happening.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Bronco
of all
Buster.
people, it's gonna be him. It's gonna be, of all people, it's gonna be him. I want to talk about women's wrongs for a second. With Masha Slamovich and her backstage promo, where she's looking in the mirror, hot, sweating, borderline the guy from Gangsta's Paradise. I got a bunch of haters. I got a lot of enemies. Upset. And she said, but you know who the biggest hater of all is? Tessa Blanchard. She said, you are so much of a hater that you flew across the country to go beat up an old man. I thought she was going to break the mirror when she said that. In comes Tommy Dreamer, which I wrote Tommy Dreamer ? And Tommy Dreamer's like, yo, don't let this girl get the best of you. You better take that girl out. Don't let that woman do that to you. And it put a battery in the back. I thought this was kind of going to be a throwaway segment. I was wrong. What did you think about this promo?
I really like this promo. This was one of the pre-tapes that I really enjoyed. I thought that Masha hit across the whole rivalry very well, and her journey, like saying that she worked so hard for this one goal to become TNA Knockouts World Champion. She had to be her best friend to do it in one of the best women's matches of last year with her and Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory, and then talking about how her journey has been since she won the title and all the haters that have gotten her way, like Katasha Steeles, like a Cora Jade, like a Rosemary, and how she's been able to beat all of them. But now the biggest hater of them all is Tessa Blanchard. And boy, do me and Cresta know about Tessa hating you. But yes.
That's funny. I just got it. That's funny. You ate that. You ate that. You ate that. I will not be explaining
But
if you didn't catch it.
no, no, no. It's not worth explaining. But yes. So yeah, I like the promo. I like the emotion that she showed. I like Tommy Dreamer's inclusion here. As soon as Tommy came in, I was like, oh, another Johnny Rod's graduate there. So it made sense to me. You know, we grew up in the New York City area. We know about Johnny Rods. If you know Johnny Rods, you know. And I actually have some friends that have trained with Johnny Rods as well. So he is
Hey.
one of the most known kind of New York trainers. If you're like come from the old school, from the '90s on, you know Johnny Rods, and I know the story of Masha Slamovich as well because I know that she trained there, came from Russia and lived in New York for so long. She's an adopted New Yorker, so we always got love for Masha Slamovich. So I like all the pictures and stuff like that, telling her story and her connection to Johnny Rods. The only issue I have with any of this is, did I miss something, or has TNA never shown the actual angle? I know they did it on exclusive, but this is my issue with modern
Oh
day,
yeah, it was
especially
just an
20.
exclusive. It wasn't on. It wasn't on
I'm
TNA.
I'm sick of these 2025 theme of all these wrestling promos, because it's something that used to be exclusive to AEW. AEW, we used to always do these great promos like with Daddy Magic, or last year with Hangman Adam Page, and the incredible promo he did after he beat Jay White, and he talked about how he's going through like the mental breakdown, and then they never showed it on actual AEW television. So it used to be an AEW staple, and the AEW haters used to be like, "Oh, they never put the good stuff on the TV." But now it's become a staple across North American wrestling. WWE's done it a few times this year with like Rhea Ripley's promo after she lost the world title. Roman had an incredible promo before WrestleMania. You got Karrion Kross with the shoot promo he did earlier this week, and none of this stuff is shown on WWE television. And now you got TNA with one of the big angles of one of their main events for this Sunday. Why haven't they shown? You're telling me you can't squeeze in 3 minutes to show at least clips of her attacking Johnny Rods and stuff? Is there like a mandate against attacking senior citizens? Why they can't show Tessa Blanchard
Not this
beating up
shirt.
Johnny Rods?
Not
I
this show, baby. Not this show. I will
I'm
say
just I'm
a
just
little to
saying.
your point that yeah, a lot of people are doing the whole I want to be online and show them through social media. But I just think unfortunately that's the you them love it. So they're gonna go ahead with that in the clips. So I chalk that up to that. I will say though, Tessa Blanchard does have the "you're a racist" chance going. So I would rather keep that to a comment section than in all my taping. And I always got to edit something. Listen, hey, oh, they did the same thing to Hogan. I'll just say, I calls it like I sees it. If she's getting booed, and this is going to be the person who I begrudgingly, and I'm knocking on wood, and this is me being biased, okay? So nobody say this is my opinion, not Feiffel's opinion. I hope Masha retains on Sunday, okay? But I fully believe that this girl's going to take it off of her. Tessa Blanchard's going to take it off of her. That being said, that's a lot of negative press for like 2-3 tapings. People were like, boo, Tessa, the door. So to that extent, in this situation, you really couldn't build it on TV because people were going to boo her. People are going to boo the segment.
But these are all pre-taped. This was pre-taped like 2 months ago. You're telling me we couldn't squeeze it in some way?
I don't
This
want to see
wouldn't have
that.
affected. I wanted to see the angle. It's like and it's and I also the way this has all been taped has been very weird. I'm playing the Joe Pearl
You're
role
doing
on
the
this
Joe
show
Pearl today.
because I know Joe Pearl complains about this as well, but it's a disconnect because you had Masha at Unbreakable, and I haven't watched all of it, but I did see Masha and Joe Hendry did the little pose together, and Masha smiling and stuff like that. So she wasn't she didn't keep the same energy that she had here. Like it was like she was kind of happy, and she wrestled against Tessa in the tag team matchup, but she didn't have the anger that she had here, or the anger that she had in the vignette. So there's a disconnect. There's a
She had to
disconnect
go home
here.
and
I
sleep,
just
but she
want
had to
them
go
to
home
have.
and sleep. She had to think about it. She had to think about it. It's
I know
funny.
Masha had a lot of matches. She was killing it over WrestleMania week. So hats off to her. But I just want them to be consistent with the storyline.
Well, they have the pay-per-view on Sunday. And if I'm not mistaken, that next Thursday, they're going to be live. So you're going to have to be consistent for 2 weeks. I got my eye on you, TNA. And I'll
And
be set.
and they gotta make sure they mute the crowd enough when they get the "you're a racist" or "Tessa, we're coming for you" chants.
I will say the last two, maybe three impacts, it's been more booze and less Tessa. We're coming for
We
you.
coming for you,
It's been a
Tessa.
lot less of
We
that. So,
coming for you.
maybe just brute force it. I don't know. I don't know. Moving right along. This was my favorite promo, and this has been one of my favorite builds to matches in TNA in a very long time. We have Mike Santana in AA, and with all due respect to Mike Santana's sobriety, TNA has been these vignettes, this video package, everything. So first it starts off with, I didn't catch the young man's name, but the guy that the system pretty much assaulted. They drugged that man and had him messed up all up in the back. Like, what was you doing? He's like, y'all fell off the wagon. Thank y'all for coming back. And he tells the story and say,
Ali forced the man to get to relapse.
bro, I don't know who this person is, but I think they're on like Twitter or Blue Sky. But if we talked about the crimes that happened on TNA, this I'm surprised someone hasn't done this is an unsafe work environment gimmick, because it'd be absolutely right. Absolutely right. There's nothing. So Santana says to people in the AA meeting, you guys are really the tough ones, the strong ones. You choose every day to wake up and face your demons. You choose to push forward. And weakness isn't a weakness. You can use that weakness to push forward. He said, Ali is a weakness as a man who can't face the truth. Ali is addicted to Santana. I was like, I could see that. Santana then goes on to say, what's the definition of an addict? Someone who can't admit that they have a problem. And then he goes to describe how Ali wants to be like him. You're upset that someone like me, who came out the dirt, is still rising and will eventually surpass you, and I'm still going to keep on rising. He said at Unbreakable, I'm going to muckalize you. He didn't say that part. I made that part up. But that's what I understood. I thought he was going to murder Ali the first time, but Ali cheated, which is on brand. That being said, I need a best 2 out of 3. And if Santana doesn't win this, TNA, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. Don't mind that I'm taking out my earrings, because just in case they fall, I just want to talk to you. What did you think about this promo? This video package, I should say.
Yeah, Mike Santana has been doing such an excellent job with his character work, with his promos, and I totally agree with you. I think this is one of TNA's best rivalries in a very long time. I don't think that you've seen this level of character work and depth to the characters like we've seen from Mike Santana, who is blending his real life story into who he is on TNA television, and then Mustafa Ali being the perfect kind of antagonist for the story and the rise and the coming up from the dirt and battling addiction, battling the setbacks in his wrestling career to rebound and be a top star and a star on the rise in TNA like we've seen from Mike Santana. I think Mustafa Ali and the Ali campaign of Tasha Steelz and the Gray Hands, I think they've been great foils for Santana. So I think that this False Count Anywhere matchup on Sunday is really going to steal the show. And I think outside of like the tag team matchup that we mentioned that just got added, this is the only kind of real non-title matchup that's going to be on the main card. So it puts that big spotlight on them. So Santana has really kind of stole the show the last couple of TNA pay-per-views, whether it be against Josh Alexander at Genesis or against Moose at Bound for Glory. And I think he's going to do that again with Mustafa Ali. And we're going to continue continue on the quest to the TNA World Championship for Mike Santana before they get back to New York for Slammiversary, where I know Joel has been saying the same thing. We need to make that the crowning moment for Mike Santana. I'm hoping they're going in that direction. So I'm really looking forward to this matchup. But well done. Loved that the dude that fell off the wagon was in here. Love that we've seen a couple of the same people in these AA meetings. So these AA meetings have added some more depth, some more character work to Mike Santana, and they used it in a good way on this show.
I also want to say a big shout outs to TNA because I don't know if I said it on this show or maybe it was your show, but I've seen quite a lot of sobriety angles not be treated with respect the
Yeah.
way that TNA has done it. TNA has treated this with the utmost respect while keeping it very sports entertaining. You know what I mean? And like you said, I also think that the message is that you can fall off the wagon and get right back on it. So even if you mess up, you can keep trying. And I think that is so impactful, if you will. So shout outs to TNA for definitely giving this the respect that it deserves. And this, like you said, blending your real life. Everyone loves a good shoot, but it always doesn't have to be like, I hate that guy. It always doesn't have to be that guy. I think this is really nice. But speaking of, it has to be that guy. We're backstage with the Elegance brand, and Heather Elegance is shook, panicking, because she now has to call Ash by Elegance and let her know that, bro, well, she DM'd her, and the DM was like, we need to talk. And she was like, she being Ash, why did you put us in a 4-way for the knockouts titles? And then she explains how 4-ways work. And I'm like, yo, this is not real life. And then she's like, she's screaming. So I must have missed an episode. Who was that other girl? Am I lost? And then on top of that,
that's
it's
Maggie
like,
Lee.
Okay, well, come on, Maggie, period. But I'm also like, girls, y'all gonna cheat anyway. I would like the meta girls to take it from y'all, but y'all gonna cheat.
Yeah, and Gigi and Tatum, they lost on Tuesday, so I don't see them winning either. And Spitfire just lost the title, so I don't see them winning it right back. And now they got Maggie Lee, they got the concierge. So I think she got the percentages wrong. You got to do the Steiner math of it all, because in a 2-on-2 matchup, they have a 50% chance of winning, but in a 4-way, they have a 25% chance of winning. But then when you add the concierge and Maggie Lee, that's another 25%. So they have a 50% chance of winning. The Meta Girls have gotten multiple opportunities, I think like 2 or 3 at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and they've lost every one of those. So you take their 25% chance of winning and you add that to the 50% chance of winning for the Elegance brand, that gives them a 75% chance of winning. Then you take into the account that Tatum and Gigi lost on Tuesday, so they have really no chance of winning this one. You take their 25% and you add that again to the Elegance brand. Now they got 100% chance of winning. And then you take into the account that Spitfire just lost the TNA Knockouts World Championship, so that's another 25% chance of the Elegance brand winning. So they have 125% chance of winning. See, the numbers don't lie, and they spell doom for the rest of the teams in this matchup.
To quote Ariana Grace, I was told there was going to be no math on this commentary, guys. I told there was going to be no math on this commentary, guys. And that was a lot of math, and my head hurts. Thank you, SP3, for that dramatic reading of Steiner math, somehow with more 25% and no Samoa Joes. 2 out of 10 would not recommend. Then we have to hard turn into Jacy Jayne with Salad Headley and Jordan Nix versus Rosemary. This match came about because Rosemary spit in Jacy Jayne's face. And isn't that how all dances start? You just spit in somebody's face. There was a lot of screaming in this match. And this was Rosemary 1-on-3 pretty much. I will say, back to the topic of violence in this company, admitting to people on TNA that Rosemary's been biting people for close to a decade on national television. That's a little insane. That's a little insane, TNA. Just a touch. And I can't defend you when you're acting like this. There was a huge pump knee on Rosemary, but Rosemary rose to the power of necromancy and just yelled at this girl's face. There was a lot of cheating towards the end, and a discus lariat from Jacy Jayne, which honestly, that looked like that Statlander. I mean, that Haterade forearm. So I had to give Jacy Jayne credit for that. She put some stank on it. She put some Old Bay on that. And she does get the pin. The post-match consists of those three girls. I forgot what Pretty Deadly. I don't know what their name. No, that's another dude.
Fatal Influence.
Fatal Influence. Pretty Deadly. I do like them. But Fatal Influence. Go ahead.
I like to call them Timu Toxic Attraction.
Why my mind was like, isn't that Toxic Attraction? I don't watch NXT.
I mean, Jacy was in both groups, so it's kind of like you did all of this to put her back in another Toxic Attraction group.
It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes it happens. Post-match, we do get the... Now I want to say Toxic Attraction. Why did you do that?
Fatal Influence.
Fatal Influence then begins to pump knee the frick out of Rosemary. Oh my God, it was so stiff. And by the time Rosemary had already eaten 3, I thought her nose was going to be broken too. Then Zaya Brookside comes out. Then Lei Ying comes out.
That's a difficult one.
Lei Ying comes out. Holy crap, I'm never saying that again. That was hard. My brain just said, nope. They finally come out. Rosemary's already dead. And they make this 3-on-3 official for this Sunday. I know I said a lot. What did you think of this match? If you have any extra thoughts, are you excited now for this extra 3-way coming up this Sunday?
Yeah, the 3-on-3 matchup, I kind of expected this to go down after last week when Rosemary got involved in the matchup with Zaya and Jasmine. I like Jacy Jayne, as Booker says, the rock star, Jacy Jayne. She do so well, Chucky Ducky, quack quack moment of the night.
Not too much of Uncle Booker. Not too much of Uncle Booker.
Well, but yeah, they did. I think she did well here, getting the win with her discus forearm. So that was all fine and dandy, and it sets up another matchup for Countdown to Rebellion. So I like the fact that Fatal Influence is being used on NXT, being used here. They're a nice little act that they've come together and built up. I'm a big fan of Fallon Henley, not Henry Santana. Stop getting her name wrong. Disrespectful.
Okay.
Disrespectful.
He got know anyone's name.
But he got Jasmine Nix right. He got her perfectly right. He mispronounced Jacy Jayne, mispronounced Fallon Henley, and got Jasmine Nix right.
Give him a complicated name. Easy. Your name easy. You.
This guy. So yeah, I'm looking forward. It's going to be on the Countdown to Rebellion. So the pre-shows. I do like that TNA always puts a couple of matches on the pre-show, unlike WWE who do 3-hour pre-shows with no matches.
Man, listen. Just tell me when it actually starts. That's how I feel about that.
Exactly.
Tell me when it actually starts.
I never watched the pre-show, and then WrestleMania, they just wanted to do a whole bunch of angles and announcements that they're buying promotions on the pre-show, so then I had to pay attention.
I'm poor. Too poor to pay attention. Okay. Let's talk about what a great way to start into not being poor. We got a super chat. Remind me, is it
Valub.
The H is a traitor to my eyes. Valub says, I'm confused. I just woke up and I saw Willow the Wisp doing Not Like Us. Where am I? Who am I? Why am I? I don't know any of this. I want to see more. Let's talk about where TNA, in my opinion, became peak TNA. Because at first I was sports confused. I was sports disinterested. Then I decided, why am I sports disinterested? Then he started doing Not Like Us. We had the Nemeth brothers visit the Hardy compound. It starts off right before the commercial break with, I want to say, Maxwell opening the door. First of all, WWE shirt on TNA, you're not sneaky, WWE. Simon, why you got your kid opening the door? Like, don't y'all got a guard dog? We come back from commercial, and like every horror movie, the Nemeth bros say, let's split up.
I was like, haven't you seen one of these matches before?
Mind you, they drove by Mr. Willow of the Wisp in the forest, already in green with the umbrella. I was sports confused. All right. This was camp, both complimentary and derogatory. Okay. So they split up. Not Like Us starts playing. Nick Nemeth.
Wait, first Willow the Wisp said, I see dead people. Dude.
And then like the royalty free version of Not Like Us comes on. The legally distinct.
As Balam said in the chat, he said I like the gothic mustard. It was gothic DJ mustard. Dodge. I popped so much. I was like, you know what?
Good stuff in there, pal.
I'm so happy that Joel and Cresta needed me to watch because I needed to see this live. If I saw this on tape delay and watched it tomorrow morning, I would have been upset because it would have been all over the social medias already, and I would have got it ruined before I even watched the show. So the fact that I got to see it live as it happened, you're so right when you said this is peak TNA, and this was TNA doing something relevant. Even though it's a year old, it's still relevant. It's this is one of the greatest hip hop songs of this era. And they had Jeff Hardy, who is invited to the cookout because he was the guest of honor at Wale Mania a week after he was the guest of honor at Wale Mania. He's dancing to Not Like Us on a wrestling show.
Come on now.
The only thing that would have made it better if he crip walked like this.
Which is so funny because I recently just saw that video of Haley Williams of Paramore crip walking to that's a whoa, but somebody remixed it over Carl Thomas. She had to stay at home. Anyway, to quote Taz, I digress. We're getting off the rails, but TNA, I digress. There was so much that happened in this. There was the Lake of Reincarnation. There was Ryan Nemeth trauma dumping on a child. I'm calling the cops. They were at Five Nights at Freddy's at some point, and then there was because he lost it all. I popped when he had the white face with the lip ring. I was the tears.
Emo Nemeth.
Honestly, I want to. If you don't do that next, Ryan Nemeth. He was like, I'll just tell people my brother's coming back. And all he did was laugh at me. He's like, did you ever hug your parents? Not a kid asking you if you ever hugged your parents. I hate that I like this so much. I'm entertained against my will.
Like when they were in AEW, this thing did not always work, but they are 2 for 2 since their return to TNA in the Hardy compound. The Hardy compound just works better in TNA because TNA is known for the ridiculousness. Like AEW is known for its wrestling. It's not known for the ridiculousness all the time, but TNA is known for the ridiculous. I loved the Systems visit to the Hardy compound with Moose becoming a football player again. Loved that. I loved this with Matt. I was like, Ryan Nemeth should be dead right now. You've drowned him. You've kept his head underwater for like 3 of these skits. He did like 3 different skit. He did two skits in one hallucination. This was not the lake of reincarnation. This was the lake of hallucination. He was under the water, and they did two skits in one where he had a ticket to go to the Maxwell the Great, the movie, and all the kids was there. Senior Benjamin was there, and then he watched a movie that had him in it getting his ass whooped by Maxwell,
I don't know what
and
this
he's
show
getting
is.
he got beat up by Maxwell. Then he gets another hallucination where he's trauma dumping on, I think it was, I forget all the,
Wolfie.
he has so many kids. Wolfie was hilarious. Wolfie probably has the best timing of any of these kids. He was so good in the therapist role. He's taking his fake notes. It looks like my daughter doing one of these drawings behind me. He's like
Hold still,
he's like
daddy. I got your eyes.
he's like, did your parents ever hug you? He's like, no, they never hugged me. They never hugged me.
When he started crying to a kid because a kid clocked his tea, like, yo, you've never hugged your parents, have you? I'm like, bro, go talk to that man. Not this little this kid is literally not even double digits. Bless you, Matt Hardy. But also, yo, Ryan Nemeth, after this, if you are not emo Simple Plan, I low-key don't want it. I don't want it. I
Then
don't want it.
he had a better roast than the WrestleMania roast that I listened to. It was awful for all 2 hours of it. I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here, and Cresta will get this. If you are a black child that grew up watching Comic View and you heard DL Hughley roasting on the crowd, you would think that this WrestleMania roast, you didn't laugh at one single thing. I did not laugh at one single thing because I'm so used to DL Hughley roasting on the crowd. I'm like, this is not even funny. DL Hughley was sometimes not funny with how he would rip apart these people in the. I used to feel bad for the people in the crowd sometimes. I didn't feel bad for anybody. It was all.
I've heard nothing but bad things about that roast. And my thing is like, did you invite comedians or people who are subjectively funny sometimes?
Exactly. Subjectively funny is a good term for it.
Subjectively funny sometimes.
But Bartholomew, he's funny. He's funny. He had the jokes. He said, "You want to hear something funny? Your career." Oh, you should have had someone who said, "Got him."
They had someone trying to do it in the background, but bless their heart. Listen, we'll take it. We take what they got. I was expecting it at one point to say, "Toasty." Ooh, I haven't hit puberty. I'm sorry, y'all.
And Ryan Nemeth, he tried his best. He tried his best. He tried his best in the roast. He was like, "You live at home with your mother. you wear clothes that don't fit you. Your mom went to a restaurant and ordered a short stack, and the waiter said, 'I thought you already have one.'" I was like, "That's actually a good one."
But imagine roasting a kid. You don't win in that situation. Even if that kid is
win.
Roasted, that kid could be frying you. Kitchen in the good. There's nothing. What are you going to say about a kid? That's why you still wear Pampers? I'm a kid. You got me there.
Oh my god, this is so good. It was so good. It had no reason to be that good, but it was so good. It was such a good time between Not Like Us, the hallucinations of Ryan Nemeth, him arguing with Gothic Baby.
Not you argue with a baby. Please watch this segment, this whole thing. The kids are doing too much. The adults are doing not enough. And I hate every moment of it.
Freaking Nick Nemeth stealing the title and putting a weight in its place, like he's freaking stealing like he's in a bank robbery and he has to have the same weight.
Mind you, this is happening while it's cutting to Matt Hardy beating up Ryan Nemeth. It's like, watch this, just watch this. We cannot describe. I feel like I needed to be on The Substance in order to fully understand every secret message. There's probably a deeper meaning to the Cult of Cthulhu in there, but I'll never know because I was too sports entertained.
This was a good time. If there's one thing you watch from the show, it has to be the Nemeth brothers at the Hardy compound. This made me staying up to watch TNA Impact the best thing for me.
for no reason. From a unnecessary high sports entertainment to sports. So we have a squash match with Tessa Blanchard and Missa Kate. It's a squash match. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a squash match. It's a squash match. Afterwards, Masha Samovich comes down, fired up from that promo earlier, and proceeds to let Tessa know who run the world. Girls, this girl in particular, gives Masha a snowplow and then tries to hit her with the, I love to call it disarm her. I know that's not what it is, but it's the arm break, whatever it is. But she's trying to yank that girl's arm out the socket. Yeah. And I know this is sports entertainment, but part of me was like, do it. I just want to see something. I
want to see how far her arm break that way. I mean bend that way. Bend, not break.
I watched the wrong thing because I just started singing. She heard people wrong. She heard
Masha hurts people. She hurts people.
I mean, if we're gonna jump across the life, anyone deserves to be in the Hurt Syndicate. Masha hurts people. Like, no, she hurts people. Like, no, wait. No, she hurts people. Like, if Masha said, put him up right now, Cresta, or die, well, it's been nice knowing y'all.
Deceased, you have a flower in your hand. Like,
call me Mumbra.
Oh, it's like really good stuff. Tessa getting the win. She I don't know why she had to beat on Missa Kate that bad. She had to hit 2 of her finishers. I was like, what this is a squash. Why do you need to hit the Magnum, which is already an incredible finisher, and then you have to hit the buzzsaw? I was like, this kind of seems excessive, but okay. And then Masha coming out to beat her up. I was happy to see it, but I have the dread of, oh no, my wrestling booking mind is just like, oh no, she's standing tall on the go home show. Oh no.
Not like
us. No. Not like us. They should have played it again. They should.
Listen, Masha, I know I'm a nobody, but you have my permission to crip walk. Yeah,
you from Brooklyn. She was living in Brooklyn. She live in Queens now. Come on, you could do it. You could do it, Masha.
Bro, you could do it, Masha. Listen, I will fly personally to teach you. And you should come out to that, actually. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That was hilarious. But yeah, I fear for Masha this Sunday. And I want to talk about more fear. We got a video package for Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin, our first inaugural international TNA champion. Yes, God.
Yeah.
But this is why I have fear. This is the second time you set up camp, and the second time Eric Young has pulled up on you. You need a new camping spot. Steve Maclin, I've come around on you, and I like you a lot, but Eric Young is a specter. I saw him die. So this guy, you're fighting a ghost, so maybe you can't hide from him.
And like this is what I tell a lot of my female friends. Anybody hands you a cup, you look in it. You gotta look in the cup. You gotta look in the cup, man. It's hard out here for these females, but it's hard out here for these Maclins. Like, you gotta look in the cup. If someone you gotta look in it. You gotta make sure there ain't no substances. But did Eric Young roofie Steve Maclin?
Okay, so we're in agreement here, right? Sorry, Eric Young comes up. He says, I'm glad you made it, Maclin. If it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be you. Whoop-de-woo. I know it's a very New York answer. So he pretty much says, yo, this is the last time I extend my hand out to you. Steve Maclin, take my hand. And Maclin says, yo, I'm not doing that. You have a good night. And then walks off while this is his camp. So why are you walking off? Cut to the camera angle shows, you should have taken my and Eric Young is doing this whole monologue, and I see Steve Maclin on the floor. Like, did he go to sleep? First of all, where was he walking to? Did he faint? I feel like I'm missing some crucial evidence because I see him on the floor, but like, why would he walk away from this man and then go sleep in the sleeping bag when there's clearly an RV in the background? I didn't see him fall. I didn't hear nothing, Jesus. And I was watching. I was sports invested. So I was sports confused. This is a crime.
Like, you had Steve Backlund like, I keep on falling. Oh my God.
And this dude gave him a drink. He said, oh, this tastes weird.
It took a while to take the effects. My man over here, Steve Backlund, was over here looking like B Rabbit on the bus, writing his rhymes. He was over here writing his rhymes. And then Rick Young pulled up on him, gave him a roofie drink. And he was like, I'm feeling funny. He got up. He almost fell in the fire. He fell down. And then he you don't know how long it took him to write that verse. And he just threw his lyrics in the fire.
You throwing a rhyme book in the fire is crazy. Throwing a rhyme book in the fire is crazy. First of all, the fact that you called him B Rabbit, and my mind just started to stand. Damn, mister, I'm too good to call him, right, my fan?
This will be the last message I ever send your ass. It's been 3 months since. So don't worry. I don't deserve it. I know you got the last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect.
Dear Eric Young, leave me alone. I won this intercontinental title on my own.
Bars, Crystal with the bars.
He really threw his rap because he does this whole monologue. You see Steve Backlund on the floor with his arm like this. If there's something we can learn from Santana in this episode, don't take drink from strangers, people, ladies and gentlemen. And this man is on the floor, and then he literally throws his journal because I kind of live for journaling Macklin. Macklin goes in the ring, beats up people, come home. That was crazy. I'm so glad to be a wilderness. And he gonna throw his whole rhyme book in the fire. You fear nothing. You fear nothing, Eric Young.
That's wild, man. Mad disrespectful. How you roofie somebody and then burn their rhyme book? Like that's
and that was supposed to be your friend. And to think about it, you offered him after he took the drink, so you was gonna roofie him regardless.
He was like, I knew you would say no.
There's a Kendrick bar for everything. Off this freaky ass nigga. Like, why you roofie him anyway? Like,
oh my God.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, you handed him that drink the moment you sat down. Whether you said yes or no.
Second thought. Whether he said yes or no, you ready to roofie him and then burn his rhyme book. Like that's like
he doesn't trust you, pal.
Y'all don't understand. I used to have a rhyme book too. I used to do some rhyme. That would make me stop writing.
That's the type of shit that Steve Max is gonna pull up on your coffin, Eric Young, and summon and put you in the ring of Ori Calcos. You better stop.
Oh my God.
I honestly, at this point, this feud, I thought it was just going to be like a throwaway, whatever it is. This is slowly becoming my favorite thing because how do you fight a ghost who burnt your rhyme book? That's literally, as I'm going to tell people, that's exactly what this match is about. A ghost burnt this man's rhyme book.
Pretty much like, oh man, this was my second favorite vignette on the night outside of Jeff Hardy dancing to Not Like Us. It was this segment. Yo, he was too tapping. He was like he was going down the Soul Train. He was like,
I don't care. He's still invited to the cookout. I don't care. And Jeff, baby, you ain't even gotta do that. When it comes on, you can just go. Dun, 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 dun. Nobody go back to that.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we coming down the home stretch. My chest hurts. SP3. Every time I host with you, my face hurts.
No, we be dropping knowledge, yo. He was gonna roofie him regardless of his answer. Like,
I need an investigation stat. What was your intentions here, Steve Macklin? I mean, Eric Young. You handed this man some of his own, so you roofied this man's own whiskey that he had on the table already.
No.
That
He brought the whiskey. He brought the whiskey. Go back and watch it. He puts the whiskey on the table and then sits down. But Steve Macklin is too busy in the rhyme book. Yo, he was like, I got the illest bar. I got the illest bar of writing. So he
Northern
didn't care.
Armory sucks. Northern Armory, yuck. Northern Armory's bombs. Northern Armory's buns. We need an investigation. What was in that rhyme book and what was in that drink? More at 11.
We do. Man, they should have restorated his rhymes, yo. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What was in Steve Macklin's journal? I really think it's the lyrics to Stan. Honestly, if you're not laughing at wrestling, you're doing it wrong. This was sports entertaining. I'm memeing, but I'm memeing because this was beauty. This was gems. This was grace.
Exactly. I think people take wrestling way too seriously. I think that was the point that Triple H was saying between telling y'all to fuck off. Y'all take it too seriously. Y'all need to laugh more after wrestling. That's what I do. Yes, I do my best.
I laugh as much as I can because it's just wrestling. That's the way I see it. I just want to laugh. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the main event. All right? Our main event, we saw a tag match of Frankie Kazarian and All Ego Ethan Page versus Elijah and Joe Hendry. This match was your massager, your appetizer, because all four of these men are going to be in the four-way for Joe Hendry's title at
triple threat, and then Elijah's doing the Walk with Elijah Open Challenge, which I'm interested. I don't know who's gonna answer that. I feel like it's gonna be Baron Corbin to give us a rematch from WrestleMania 36, but I've been trying to book Baron Corbin, Bishop Dyer everywhere. I'm a Bishop Dyer apologist. That's my duty in life.
We all apologize for people who may not do the right things. I am a Becky Lynch and Nia Jax apologist. I won't be taking any further questions at this time. So do your big one. There'll be no Baron Corbin slander for me for right now.
Yo, Nia wilded out during that roast. Yo, she was wilding. She wasn't funny, but she was wilding. I will say.
All right. I didn't see it, so I can't defend it. But the fact that she said she was wilding, but she wasn't funny. All right. So anyway, we have this tag match, and they start off by saying how Joe. First of all, we didn't know who Elijah's tag partner was going to be. All right. So we didn't know who Elijah's tag partner was going to be, which is clearly going to be Joe Hendry. There'll be no Nia Jax slander. I will change the subject. They put over Joe has a messed up rotator cuff. And that was the focal point for much of the match when Joe got in. Elijah and Frankie Kazarian was doing a lot of the work. And I will say this was a good showcase for both these men. There was an Ethan Page tag where he calls out Joe Hendry and immediately starts going for Joe Hendry's shoulder. There was a nice high knee from Kaz onto Elijah, a lot of stiff knees from Kaz to Elijah and vice versa. The end comes when there's a superplex from Page and Kaz, but Elijah breaks it up. And then there's a highwayman's farewell on Kazarian after they take out Joe Hendry on the outside. And I put for the wrestling bards to win. Before I get into my thoughts, let me have you go first. What did you think about this?
I enjoyed this main event. It was fine. It was pretty solid work from everybody involved. I was very confused with Frankie Kazarian losing here. I thought that this was pretty simple, that you have probably the two challengers win this and pin Elijah. But I guess they're trying to protect Elijah because eventually they're going to do the Elijah Joe Hendry match. I was just like, why are we pinning Frankie Kazarian like 3 days before the pay-per-view? That was strange to me.
Frankie can take it. He could take it. He could
I
take
know,
it.
I know Frankie could take it, but like, are we? This actually made me feel like, are we really gonna have Frankie Kazarian win on Sunday? Because if we don't, then we are just completely jobbing him out before he probably loses again at the pay per view. Because I think the right move at this point would be have keep the title on Joe Hendry coming off the WrestleMania appearance, but who knows what they're
You
gonna do
sound
on
like Joel
Sunday?
there, because Joel had said, if anything, Kaz gets the belt off of Joe Hendry and then gets the brakes beat off of him from Mike
Yeah.
Santana in New York.
Yeah, I hate that idea. I'll be
I
honest.
hate it,
I
but also you made,
it makes
but you made
sense.
a good. But you also make sense too. Like, why would you take the belt off? Pinning your champion at WrestleMania is crazy. Pinning your champion and then having him lose a week later is crazier. But of all places
It
to
is
do it,
crazier.
TNA.
It is TNA. Like I said it after WrestleMania. I was like, this whole appearance for Joe Hendry, it's a win. It's a win for him. It doesn't matter if it was a 3-minute matchup. Doesn't matter that he lost to Randy Orton. He got to perform at WrestleMania. He got a huge pop. He got a form of endorsement and a stamp of approval from Randy Orton. It is great for Joe Hendry. However, any respectable company would not have their world champion come on another promotions show and lose in 3 minutes. But then that would be assuming that TNA is a respectable company. But
Listen, I love TNA, but I can't defend them when they're acting like this. Yikes. I mean, like you said, good for you, Joe Hendry. Get your money.
Yeah.
Get your money. But also, yo, TNA, I just want to talk. Please step outside. I don't care. All of TNA. I don't care. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
why would you think this? And I love them coming out and being like, no, this is all good. We got the title on WrestleMania. So yeah, it would not make sense after the answer that they had, and they feel like this is the type of exposure they don't usually get, to then take the title off of Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is the hot hand. They have not booked his title reign well at all, in my opinion. So you got to keep the title on him at this point to kind of salvage what you've done in putting him over. He's the top star in the company, the most popular guy in the company. He's the guy that has the hot hand. So you continue that. I think that Joe Hendry should retain. Do I believe he's going to retain? I have no clue what TNA is going to do. So I who knows? Who knows here? But the match, like I said, it was perfectly fine. Everybody played their roles well here. So I enjoyed it. I do find it funny that Joe Hendry's torn rotator cuff or injured shoulder is basically Martin's back from Martin. You know how Martin used to like lift things and they made my back. It's only something that hurts like once in a while, because Joe Hendry did not come out with with adhesive tape at WrestleMania. He was perfectly fine at WrestleMania. But then when he came back on TNA, he's like, oh, my shoulder. Oh, I got a bad shoulder.
Those are two different universes. So WWE is universe 626 and TNA is universe 327. Sometimes worlds collide, but they're not. That's not the same Joe Hendry. Okay, that was also why you living in the past. That was Sunday. This is Thursday, baby.
why you talk about that past thing? That happened. That already happened.
That's the OV. SP3, before we get up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're like he wasn't there long enough to for it to hurt. It didn't hurt. Exactly. He felt good on Sunday. I get it.
It was a superficial tear. You could.
Got you.
SP3, do you have time to run down? Let's run down the card for this Sunday at Unbreakable. We'll do some quick
Rebellion.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Unbreakable.
Damn. Yeah.
Too many pay-per-views back to back. Okay. So this is out of order, but this is how I found them online for Rebellion. Moose, who is the champion for this is the Ultimate X or the TNA X Division champion. We got Moose, champion, who's versus Casey Navarro, Leon Slater, Matt Cardona, El Hijo David Kingo, and Sidney Akeem. Who we putting our money on here?
I'm gonna go with my boy Leon Slater.
I agree. In my heart, just because I've seen him in real life, I would love Casey Navarro to win. But right now, you would a loser, baby. So you a loser too. That's your role. I love it. I hate that I like First Class. I hate it. I want to hate them. I want to hate them. I want to hate them so bad. But sports entertainment. Oh well, what can I do? We have Elijah's open call. Who do you think, Elijah? Who do you think is going to answer? I think you already answered earlier, but I want to hear what you think.
My guy, Bishop Dyer. Bishop Dyer, apologist here. I'm written for Bishop Dyer to get a job somewhere that I watch. So, TNA.
I'm going to be real with you. Jesus, I'm dying today. I'm going to be fake with you. Hold on one second.
All right, Chris is going to be all right. She's going to be all right.
I hope so. I was thinking who is someone who's been away? And all I kept thinking was Trent Seven. So that's all I got. That's all I got. I don't know what Trent Seven would do, but that's all I got. Okay. We do have a 6-woman tag team match, which would be Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, Jacy Jayne, and Jasmine Nix versus Rosemary, Xia Brookside, and Lei Ying Lee. Who do you have for this one?
I think I'm going to go with the baby faces. I'll go with Rosemary, Xia Brookside, and Lei Ying Lee.
How's Rosemary babyface? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
How bad you gotta be to make Rosemary a babyface? But I digress. I'm also gonna go with the baby faces here. But that being nah. I'm gonna go with the baby faces here. I'm gonna piggyback off of you. We have a Falls Count Anywhere match. Mike Santana versus Mustafa Ali. My money is on Big Money Mike Santana, so it'd be one apiece, and we get the rubber match at another time. What do you think, SP3?
I am going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say Mustafa Ali wins again. We just keep putting over Mustafa Ali until we put the TNA World Championship on him, and then he loses it to Mike Santana. That's what they should be doing. They should have been done this. They should have had Mustafa Ali in the TNA World Championship match on this show so he could win it on this show and then defend it against Mike Santana at Slammiversary, but I digress. I don't like Mustafa Ali.
Listen, I still believe in Joe Hendry, and I'm trying to tell myself they can recover. I feel like, I know he's a controversial figure right now, but I feel like Shannon Sharp. I do. I do. I feel like Joe Hendry's a champ. Joe Hendry forever. It don't matter what you say. Joe Hendry at 5. I don't care.
She's like Frankie Kazarian, Frank the Plumber, Frank the Tank, Frank Thomas, Joe Hendry in 5. Ethan Page, Hangman Adam Page, Brian Cage, Christian Cage, Joe Hendry in 5.
Christian Cage, turn the page. It don't matter. Joe Hendry at 5. We do have the Fatal 4-Way tag team match for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team. I said that 50 times. We have Ash by Elegance versus Heather by Elegance with the personal concierge, versus the Metaphor, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, versus Spitfire and Jody Threat, versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. What is your prediction? And I'll tell you mine.
I think I'm like picking some stuff that I'm probably gonna change my pick tomorrow when we do the preview on True Hill Heat. But you know what? Since I gotta get one in, I always pick them in everything that they do, and I'm gonna keep picking them in everything they do. Metaphor girls, give me the Meta girls for the win.
No, I agree. I would love to see the Metaphor girls win, but I've been watching TNA long enough to see a cheat right ahead of me. So the Elegance brand will be retaining, and I hate that for who? Me. All right? But you know what I don't hate for me? The next singles match for the TNA International Championship, Steve Macklin versus Eric Young. Because you know who wins that? Us, the fans. That match is gonna be a stiff match between two uncles out back.
I mean, how quickly can someone recover from taking a roofie? So I'm gonna go with Eric Young.
Not you using the Ghost of Christmas Past powers against Steve Macklin.
I'm just saying he's been roofied, so I don't think he can recover in 3 days.
Wrestling, baby.
How many days did it take for the cast of Hangover to recover from being roofied?
This is a veteran and a combat sports entertainer. And it's not like he walked through the door that Taya Valkyrie went through. I think he'll be all right. This is TNA. Steve Macklin, not Steve, Eric Young was murdered in February. It was back to work by January. I mean, by July. So, anything's possible. Anything's possible now. We do have, because that's the 6th match. We also have the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy versus the Nemeth brothers for the tag titles. I don't want to be that guy, but I think the Nemeth brothers win here.
I will do a lot of things, and I will pick a lot of people. But picking Ryan Nemeth is not one of them. I'm going with the Hardys. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
You don't want to see them lose it all, because nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, it can't be. Yo, emo Ryan Nemeth now.
It's like, this is the character he's needed the whole time.
God damn it. This is it. This is the one. We then come up to our world championship with the women. Masha Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard. I am legally obligated to say Masha Slamovich. I don't know about you, pal.
I'm going to go with my heart here. But like I said, maybe tomorrow I might go with my head, but my heart is saying Masha Slamovich. Always. Forever.
Even if she loses, I'm going to start spreading disinformation. You heard it here first. Hear the truth from me first. If she loses, no, she did it.
No, she didn't. That didn't happen.
Not me looking dead at the camera, so I'm going to spread disinformation.
That didn't happen. You get a pen, be like, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yo, step outside. My friend want to talk to you about what you thought you saw.
Like, why is he wearing a black suit and sunglasses?
Don't worry about that. You already asked for too many. Yo, go outside. They grab you up. Hey. This is a professional wrestling professional podcast. I swear to God.
It is.
Our massive match, our main event is going to be Joe Hendry versus Frankie Kazarian versus Ethan Page it's a 3-way match for the TNA World Championship, and this will be Frankie Kazarian Call Your Shot. What do you think, SP3?
Like I said, any respectable company, if you put your world champion on WrestleMania, you should probably have him retain it at the next pay-per-view. This is TNA. I'm going with Frankie Kazarian.
You got it. You had me in the first. I was about to agree with you. And you said Frankie Kazarian in 5. Lock in those lyrics. No further answers.
Joe Hendry, Samoa Joe, Honest Joe, Joe Schmo, Hit Ya Joe, I don't know. Kazarian in 5.
Joe Hendry, Samoa Joe, Sleepy Joe, Cup of Joe. I gotta go. Kazarian in 5. And that's gonna be our show because I'll never be better than this episode. Thank you so much, SP3, for being here. Where can the people find you if they need SP3 on 1, SP3 on 2, SP3 on me, SP3 on you, SP3 on 5? Where can the people find you?
You can find me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. I will be live on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with my co-host tonight, Miss Cresta Star. Will be previewing, giving more in-depth predictions, and telling you all about the TNA Rebellion card. So join us over there as we talk about TNA Rebellion, and I probably switch all my predictions that I did tonight and go with Joe Hendry. Who knows? I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow. So join us live for that. And you can see me over on the Fightful Overbooked YouTube channel, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know if I'll have to fill in for Joel tomorrow on In the Weeds, but find us over there in the Weeds, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Fightful Overbooked. So I appreciate y'all for that. Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome, and Cresta is awesome. So go out of your way, follow her as well. And to Misfit Wrestling Podcast, my condolences to you for your passing in the family. I see that in the chat. So thoughts and condolences to you.
Oh, my condolences. My condolences, young man or person. I don't know what your gender is, and I don't want to assume.
Yeah, I don't assume.
You can find me over on the Twitter as well, Cresta the Star. Everywhere else is just going to be Cresta Star rather. I stream every Wednesday. We watch AEW together. Every Thursday, I am here myself, normally Joel Pearl, or my new partner in crime, SP3, every other time someone's out. Every Saturday, myself, Rick, and Iridian will be covering Collision. This Saturday, I don't know when Collision comes on, but we will be on after Collision is finished. Myself and Iridian, Rick won't be here, unfortunately. And I think I've said everything I needed to say. And the link tree is in all of my bios in any form of social media. Subscribe to Fightful Select, the best $6 in the business. Don't get aggravated. Don't get aggregated. Just get it straight from the sauce. We got updates, all that fun stuff. The best $5.99 a month that you could get. We've done it. Watch TNA. Watch wrestling. Take care of yourself and each other. For myself and SP3, be great and go out there and beat somebody.
And check your cups. Check your cups.
Check your cups. Don't take cups from people who are alleged to be dead, because that's a specter. Just say it.